Millions of rand in pledges have been committed to the new gender-based violence and femicide response fund. Anglo-American, ABSA, the Ford Foundation and Sanlam have all pledged a collective 60 million rand.
That's right. The money will be used to expand government's work in fighting gender-based violence and to offer support to gender-based violence survivors, as well as provide some kind of economic opportunities to marginalised women. Now, at the launch of President Cyril Ramaphosa, President Cyril Ramaphosa said that the fund fulfills a promise made to end violence against women and children. For more details on this initiative now, let's bring in Professor Hlengiwe Mkhize. She's a Deputy Minister in the Presidency for Women. Minister, thanks very much for your time and welcome to the AM report. So we already have a national strategic plan in response to gender-based violence. Help us understand how this fund fits into that initiative.
Thank you very much, Ayanda, for hosting us this morning. I wish I had a bottle of champagne. Unfortunately, I don't. This is very, very important. Remember, the president hosted a seminar that was in 2018, where women were clear about what they want to see happening for them to keep the sketch. And of course, after that, the National Strategic Plan was produced in consultation with civil society. And as we are talking now, we're talking about implementation at a district development level. And the question of funding the National Strategic Plan is crucial, is critical, because you know the pillars, there is nothing that can be done in ensuring that the National Strategic Plan is changing lives of women if it's not funded. So the president, in his strategic view, felt that, look, we cannot rely on fiscus alone. This is a big issue. Let's mobilize the private sector. Let's mobilize individuals out there and say to them, the costs of gender-based violence and femicides are incalculable. Let's all come together, collaborate, make sure that we make a start. The message was clear yesterday that it has to grow. Remember, so far when we talk about the National Strategic Plan, we talk about 6 pillars, which means women are hard at work to make sure that all these 6 pillars are implemented simultaneously.
Yeah.
A woman in the most remote rural areas should also benefit.
Absolutely. We already have corporates in part, including ABSA, Anglo-American, the Ford Foundation, contributing about 60 million rand. That's information at my disposal. How much does the fund have in total?
Well, I don't have the total figure. Remember yesterday, there were other people who made pledges on the spot. So I think the administrators will then follow up, calculate everything, and inform us as to where exactly are we. The first leg was to invite all the people of South Africa to say, here are business people, they've taken a step, which is step number 1, but we want all people of South Africa to come to the party.
Yeah, I know part of your remarks at the beginning of our exchange is you're hoping for some champagne, and that's because you obviously want to celebrate this moment. But of course, in a country like ours, we also have to be circumspect, so to speak. How do we guard this money against things like corruption?
You know what is unique with this fund? We saw yesterday the private sector actually pledging to provide technical support, because they've realized that it's not only about saying, let's have a fund for the good cause, but it's also to assure the public out there that it will be managed in a smart way. There'll be accountability and there'll be transparency, and we will bring the best skills. I mean, some of the companies that have pledged not only money, but to provide the skills, have an impressive record, not only here in South Africa, but within the continent as well. So it's that comprehensive understanding of the fund that I think is going to give courage to all people who wants to contribute.
Many people who want to contribute, who are willing to contribute, who are able to contribute, will also want to know how this money will be spent. Is there a way for the public to track, as it happens, where the money is actually going?
Well, the managers of the fund assured the public yesterday in terms of transparency, and which means the books will be open. Anyone who wants to contribute with whatever questions they have. What is good is that the management of the fund, you know, for instance, this IWF, International Women's Forum of South Africa, they are distinguished women on their own, in their own right in business. But they said, we want to make a contribution. We want to make sure that we are part of a fight against the scourge. I mean, it's gonna be run by people with big names in business who also run their own big businesses. So all those things should assure anyone who interact with them and ask whatever question to say, whatever I put in will be in safe hands. And of course, with the president overseeing on this issue, he doesn't want to take his eye off it.
Professor Hlengiwe Mkhize, thanks very much for your time. Really appreciate it here on the AM Report. Professor Hlengiwe Mkhize is the Deputy Minister in the Presidency for Women. Thanks very much indeed.